Well, let's talk about friendly economies. That's another way to look at it, because that's got to have a huge impact on the choices people make. And one of the things you and I have always talked about over the years, it's not price based or rate based. It's value based. And your clients, the people who use your agencies and your specialists, I mean, have you seen a dramatic shift in what they value in terms of when they travel?
Well, I think what happens is that they look at it and it's sort of like they know when things that really tick them off. I mean, and so it happens with products. For example, the $7 bottle of water in the room when you're paying $500 a night is really irritating.
The letters that I get, the emails that I get are from your clients, by the way, who are spending $1,500 a night for the presidential suite, and somebody charges them a $20 resort fee
or internet. So you can say the day is in, and get free internet, but so.
But isn't that counterintuitive that internet would be free at a Hampton Inn and would cost you $17 a night at the Ritz-Carlton?
It absolutely is, and we tell our partners all the time. I said, we talk about the value and so on and so forth. It's changing. We're definitely seeing a trend towards fixing that issue, and it's one of those things that got stuck in the system and sort of has to be taken out slowly.
Someone who will not be named, but a good friend of mine, was about to rent a huge villa in France. I mean, where money was no problem. Okay, we're talking someone who didn't even blink at dropping, $200,000 for a week-long villa rental, and then got the contract. And in the contract it said, "Oh, by the way, you have to pay for sheets." What?
Yeah.
Now you take that down to your business traveler or your client who's going to go and take a vacation in France or Germany or Spain or wherever, and you really do have to educate the owners of these hotels and the operators of these resorts that they're engendering such ill will for that $7, that $9 bottle of water.
Right. Well, and I think you're getting to a very good point. Yeah. I think one of the things that a lot of people don't think about when they think about value, we say, oh, it's the whole thing, is attitudinal.
Yeah.
So the point is that what I think to myself and what I think our clients say to us is, if I'm willing to spend that kind of money and then you're going to charge me for that, it's an attitude issue. So that's what just stops me dead in my tracks, because then it's more of a situation of, I'm going to, if you're willing to do that, then what's going to be next?
Exactly. Well, here you are. You're based in Texas. Look at Southwest Airlines and their decision not to charge for checked bags. When they made that decision, their own shareholders were saying, their own board of directors saying, "Are you nuts? You're leaving $700 to $800 million of revenue on the table." And they said, "No, we think it's such a negative touch point for passengers, we can move the market." And they did. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you do a fair comparison on Southwest Airlines fares and other airlines, in some markets are even more expensive, but nobody's complaining because they don't feel they're being nickeled and dimed, and they still get great passenger goodwill. There's a lesson there.
Right. And that's an element of pricing that I think gets overlooked all the time.
Yeah. I mean, everyone wants to be rate competitive or fair competitive, but I think the thing that you're stressing is value competitive.
Right. And what they forget in some of these things is attitudinal going in and attitudinal coming out. There's so many different little categories that you could probably roll it up into what you said and what you did, or what I saw or what I thought I was going to get. That'd probably be the biggest category. And that actually brings me to the point about one of the main things of our conference, which is, our power and our relation to our customers, and why we're still around when so many people said the internet was going to completely wipe us out, is because it is about trust. It's about not spinning everything, and about being able to tell people that. And that's one of the things we're doing now, is we are formalizing. A lot of our great advisors have these amazing relationships with their best clients.
And that's what I want to talk about when we come back from the break, because you saw what happened in Cairo, where you had the internet revolution responsible for deposing a leader, right? I mean, everybody was on Twitter, everybody was on Facebook, and then they got him out, right?
Right.
Now, oh my God, they actually have to have a conversation with a human being to take it to the next step, and they don't know what to do. We're going to talk about that conversation as it applies to your travels with Matthew Upchurch from Virtuoso when we come back to the Intercontinental Hotel in Madrid right after this. right at the break we were saying, okay, we're in the information overload business right now. There's so many different platforms where we can get our information, and we're almost ADD because of it. But you said there's information and then there's wisdom.
Well, there's a great T.S. Eliot quote that says, "Where's the knowledge and information, but where's the wisdom and knowledge?" And that's something we've been saying for a long time. And the reason I bring it up is because the theme of our conference here and the success of our network and all of our advisors is that they have these great relationships with their customers. There's trust. There's sort of collaboration. What we've never thought about before, in the era of all these different websites and social media and all that, is that we are announcing at this meeting that the last piece of the puzzle of closing the circle is to invite the Virtuoso customers into officially the global community of Virtuoso, so that they have a sense of participation. They've always had this.
Well, they've always had a sense of entitlement.
Well, they have a sense of appropriate expectations. I mean, they want to make sure that what you tell them and what they get is the same thing. And
right. Well, they come back because they do.
Exactly. But I'm very excited about it because I also think it says a lot about our professionals, because a lot of professionals would be very worried about, if they're in the community and they hear other things, whatever. It goes to the confidence that you have that if you're part of a community, and the responsibility of that community is to elevate your values, what you deliver, etc. That is, that's what we're doing.
Well, see, I look at it almost the same way you do it, but I'll give it to you another way. That if you understand the process, you value the product. Right.
Well, and one other thing, we have this amazing book that we put out called Our Best of the Best. It's our hotel directory of the hotels that were associated with us all over the world. And I had a competitor once time said, what gives you the right, to call these the best of the best, And I said, no, you don't get it. You show me 20 hotels in Madrid and 20 different, 10 other people, and I'll give you all these different opinions, because it's so personal, and it can change with every individual trip. I said, when we say best of the best, we mean relationships. We mean that we actually know those people. We have a relationship, and their ability to deliver.
So it's not just a list.
Exactly, and to your point, that's what's really important. It's a conversation. Information is great to inform you, to create knowledge, but if you want to grow, you want to understand and get a context. But then not only the context, but also what happens if you're on the road and something does go wrong. Who do you call? What do you talk about?
Well, you see, every time we have a situation where there, God forbid, is an earthquake in Japan, or there's a volcano that erupts in Iceland, or there's just weather in the United States and planes are grounded, if you didn't have that conversation to begin with, what makes you think you're going to suddenly have one?
Exactly. And by the way, when you have that type of a relationship, and now that we're formally closing the circle here, we're so excited about it because during the ash cloud situation, the value of great travel advisors, travel agents, went through the roof. Because we were proactive. We didn't sit there and go, oh, gee, an ash cloud just shut down the entire European system. Wait for a phone call.
Right.
We knew it happened. They were already, people were rerouting.
Right, but does that say to all of your advisors, the people who are members of Virtuoso, you're no longer 9 to 5, you're 24/7?
Well, we've known that for a long time.
Yeah, but I'm saying there are a lot of I always tell people, whether it's a Virtuoso agent or a regular travel agent, you pick a travel agent who you can get on the phone.
Right.
Because when it's 9 o'clock in Beirut, it ain't 9 o'clock in New York.
That's right.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, it's
to do what
we live in.
We go full circle to have that conversation.
Right.
What's in the remaining time we've got, what's the biggest surprise for you for the year 2011 when it comes to travel? Something you didn't expect?
We're having such a great, maybe the fact that the year is a lot better than, last year was, the recovery last year was, well, for us, the recovery last year was fantastic. And we really started 2011 was
because there was pent up demand.
A lot of it, and I think that the one thing that the recession did is it absolutely validated the value of travel in people's lives. I think that's one of the sort of the silver linings is that I think we live in a world, and recession really validated and accentuated the fact is you can only there's only so much stuff.
I always say it's not that we want to travel, we need to travel. Yeah. And you know what? We do. And thank you for letting me travel here to Madrid to see you. Matthew Upchurch, the CEO of Virtuoso. And thank you for having, how about this for a segue, the conversation with me.
Always a pleasure.